Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The Bold and the Beautiful B&B. Spoilers reveal that Steffy Forrester and Hope Logan are following in the footsteps of their mothers by keeping the Forrester vs. Logan women feud alive. Wood recently detailed how Steffy reacts to the news of a Hope and Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor hookup, and how this could be the ammo needed to boot Hope out of FC once and for all. Wood told TV Watercooler that Steffy's reaction to learning about Hope and Carter is explosive. Steffy wanted to end the Hope for the Future line, but Carter intervened and made a plea for a Hail Mary to save it. As a result, Steffy had no choice but to agree to giving Hope one more chance, but she's not happy about it. Wood told the outlet, "Steffy's target is Hope, and it may be a little bit personal, but it's also business too. The Hope for the Future line is underperforming. Steffy will soon discover that Carter is falling for Hope, and she knows that her frenemy would stoop low enough to use his feelings for her own benefit." In the meantime, Steffy Forrester wanted Carter to give performance numbers for HFTF. He resisted, and in the end, convinced Steffy and Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K., to support HFTF like they did with the Brooks bedroom line. Afterward, Hope and Carter went to his apartment and got busy. Wood said that when Steffy finds out about Carter and Hope's fling, it will be pretty explosive, and claims that the affair is jeopardizing the Forrester name. How far will Steffy go to punish her employees? She is vindictive enough to axe HFTF and maybe even fire Carter and Hope. Ridge would have to sign off on that, and this would cause another problem for Bridge. If push comes to shove, Brooke will defend Hope and Carter, putting her and Ridge at odds soon after she busted him for caressing Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, Chakras. Tell us, B&B fans, do you think that Steffy retaliates against Carter, leading to another breakup for Bridge? At Forrester Creations, tensions ran higher than they had in years. Steffy Forrester, newly reinstated as co-CEO after a brief hiatus, was back and determined to assert her authority. The company had been on shaky ground recently, and Steffy blamed two key people for its instability: Hope Logan and Carter Walton. But behind the business drama lay deeper, personal stakes, ones that threatened not only professional partnerships but also the Bridge, Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester, romance itself. Steffy had always been passionate about the family business, and her time away in Europe had given her clarity. She returned to find Hope's Hope for the Future line faltering, its numbers a shadow of what they once were. Worse, Hope was distracted, caught up in a scandalous affair with Thomas Forrester, Steffy's brother. Although Thomas claimed it was a misunderstanding and that Hope had ended things, Steffy knew better. Meanwhile, Carter Walton's once pristine reputation had taken a hit. His personal involvement with the complicated Quinn Fuller and Zoe Buckingham sagas had raised concerns about his professionalism. Steffy believed that Carter's divided loyalties had weakened his judgment as the company's chief operating officer. She could no longer afford that weakness. Not now. One stormy afternoon, Steffy summoned Hope and Carter to her office, flanked by Ridge Forrester and Eric Forrester. It was clear that this meeting would not be about brainstorming new designs. The heavy air hinted at an impending confrontation. "Thank you both for coming," Steffy began, her voice steely. "I'll get right to the point. I've decided it's time for changes, significant ones. As of today, Hope for the Future is discontinued." Hope's eyes widened in disbelief. "What? Steffy, you can't just cancel the line. I've put everything into it." "And that's exactly the problem, Hope," Steffy shot back. "You've put everything into it and lost focus. Instead of saving your brand, you were busy playing house with Thomas. That isn't the kind of behavior that belongs at Forrester." Ridge shifted uncomfortably. "Steffy, maybe we can talk this through." "No, Dad," Steffy cut him off. "We've talked enough. Forrester's future is at stake." Turning to Carter, she delivered the next blow. "Carter, your personal entanglements have compromised your leadership. I appreciate your years of service, but I need someone I can count on. You're being let go as COO effective immediately." Carter remained stoic, but the sting in his eyes was undeniable. "Steffy, this is unfair." "Like's unfair," Steffy snapped. I need a team I can trust, and right now, neither of you fits that description. Hope stormed out of the office, her heart pounding with rage and disbelief. She couldn't believe it. Her own cousin, Steffy, had not only fired her but dismantled the line she'd built from the ground up. What would this mean for her future? For her partnership with Thomas? Meanwhile, Carter packed up his things quietly, too proud to make a scene. But his mind raced. Where would he go now? Could he salvage his reputation elsewhere? Or was his name forever tarnished in the fashion world? As they left the building, whispers spread among employees like wildfire. The halls buzzed with gossip about Steffy's ruthless decisions. But the chaos inside the office was only the beginning. Steffy's actions sent shockwaves through her family, particularly through Ridge and Brooke. Later that evening, Ridge and Brooke met in their home, trying to make sense of the day's events. Brooke was furious. "Your daughter had no right to do this," Brooke exclaimed, pacing in frustration. "Firing Hope? Canceling her line? This is personal, Ridge." Ridge rubbed his temples. "Steffy is thinking about the company, Brooke. It's not personal." "It is," Brooke interrupted, her voice trembling with anger. "She's punishing Hope because of Thomas. And now you're defending her instead of standing up for my daughter." Ridge sighed, sensing the dangerous ground they were treading. "I don't want to fight with you, Logan." "But you're not fighting for me either," Brooke shot back. And that's the problem. The tension between them, always lurking just below the surface, erupted. For years, their relationship had been tested by their children's rivalries and romantic entanglements. And now it seemed that Steffy's bold move was the final straw. "I can't keep doing this, Ridge," Brooke said, her voice softening but still filled with sadness. "Every time I think we're finally okay, something comes between us. Whether it's your loyalty to Steffy, Thomas, or someone else. I need a partner who stands by me." Ridge looked at her, his heart heavy. "And I need someone who understands that my children are part of who I am." They stared at each other, the unspoken truth hanging in the air. They had reached an impasse, one they might not be able to overcome this time. Back at Forrester Creations, Steffy sat alone in her office, staring out at the Los Angeles skyline. She knew that her decisions today would have far-reaching consequences, not just for the company, but for her family. But she was willing to bear that burden. "I did what had to be done," she whispered to herself. Still, doubt gnawed at the edges of her resolve. Was she truly doing what was best for Forrester, or had she crossed a line? Time would tell whether her gamble would pay off, or if she'd alienated everyone she cared about in the process. As the night wore on, Steffy couldn't shake the feeling that she'd set something in motion that was far bigger than a corporate restructuring. She had taken bold steps, but at what cost? And would anyone be left standing with her when the dust finally settled? The following days were filled with fallout. Hope struggled to pick up the pieces, unsure whether she could rebuild her career. Carter contemplated starting his own law and consulting firm, determined to prove that Steffy's decision was a mistake. Meanwhile, Ridge and Brooke drifted further apart, their love story once again teetering on the brink. Steffy's decision had shaken the foundation of their marriage, and this time there might be no going back. But Steffy remained resolute. She believed that the future of Forrester Creations depended on hard choices, and she was willing to make them, no matter the personal cost. As the dust began to settle, one thing was clear: nothing at Forrester would ever be the same again. And in the world of the bold and the beautiful, the most dramatic twists were still yet to come. Would Hope and Carter find redemption elsewhere? Would Ridge and Brooke's love survive yet another storm? And would Steffy's bold gamble pay off? Or would it destroy everything she had fought so hard to protect?